NBC5 investigates President Trump's next threatened move on Metro Chicago, and that is possibly invoking the Insurrection Act, which would claim a rebellion against the government is underway here and allow for stronger military deployment.
Our investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy on the story for us. He joins us now with what that would look like. Chuck.
Allison, there's a gathering storm over Chicago and the suburbs, even as Illinois State Police and regular federal law enforcement agents have been able to stand up to fairly small and only sometimes violent crowds. But the gathering storm of a wider military deployment to Chicago with full arrest power is being considered by the White House and talked up publicly by the vice president, especially since Trump Justice Department attorneys lost several legal cases here in the past week. Small skirmish lines last weekend handled by Illinois State Police in front of the Broadview facility. Even without the help of National Guard troopers sent in by the president, soldiers last week were ordered by the courts here to disengage, orders being appealed by the White House.
The problem here is not the Insurrection Act or whether we actually invoke it or not. The problem is the fact that the entire media in this country, cheered on by a few far-left lunatics, have made it okay to tee off on American law enforcement.
If President Trump invokes the Insurrection Act of 1807, most legal barriers to military use would disappear. The president claiming a rebellion is underway here, and soldiers could then assume regular police duties, including arresting people.
It would set up a really stark conflict between the president's use of troops and our traditional understanding of the autonomy of state governments in local law enforcement that I think would be challenging.
So you could insert curfews. They could tell people to stay in their homes. They could close stores. It's not martial law, but it's one step toward martial law.
When you have military that can direct force against their own people, that is inherently corrupting. When you have what looks like a deliberate end run around not just a concept, but a law that's been around for a long time, posse comitatus, that says, you know, you don't use our military on domestic soil unless there is an extraordinary emergency of some sort. That when you see an administration suggest that ordinary street crime is an insurrection or
a terrorist act,
you know, that is a genuine effort to weaken how we have understood democracy.